What are your thoughts on Mason Greenwood? That's what I want to know.
That he's on the traveling squad.
Yeah. I mean,
I think with Greenwood, I think it's a little bit of a technicality, right? Because the court proceedings are still ongoing. We still haven't heard any determination. He's still out on bail.
Regardless,
nothing
It's
has
all
changed.
quiet on the
We've
Western
got
Front
him.
with that.
Nothing has
No.
changed in his legal case.
So why are we playing? Why is he traveling now? Why are we changing?
The FA cleared him. The FA cleared him to come back. So they put him on the under 23s or something. And you can, whoever you put on your under 21s, under 23s, they can travel. So they put his name on the traveling squad. So there's a chance he will be back.
But is the FA cleared him or not? Does United want him back? That's
a good question. That's a good question. And I think
the way it's supposed to work, under my understanding, is that the Premier League squad is supposed to be a max 25 players, but then you're allowed an unlimited number of players that count as under 21 just based on age, not even if they're in the under 21 squad, that don't count against the 25. And my understanding is that Greenwood's placed in that second category because he's still 19 or 20 or whatever, and so he doesn't count against anyone else in the 25. So that's room for all 5 new signings into the team without any restrictions. And then we kick Phil out. Phil doesn't even have a locker in Carrington. He's in with the youth squad. He's in there with Tom Huddleston.
That doesn't answer. Do we want him back? I mean, I understand why he's traveling.
Nobody wants him back. No,
that's why that's what I'm saying. Why is he back?
I think because I think legally we can't just kick him to the curb. I think because he's got a contract, and I think like Bandito was saying, there's no change in his legal case, and there's rumblings around in the media, not from always legitimate sources, that everything's going to be dropped, right? Because we've heard that the girls' families taking money. I mean, this is not something I really want to spend a lot of time on. I don't think any United supporter wants to ever see Mason Greenwood play for the club again. And it's disappointing because we had a lot of expectations for the kid. He looked like to be a proper player, but when you're at United, it means just as much what you do off the pitch as what you do on the pitch. And so we don't want to be associated with that kind of rubbish. And if he's innocent, and maybe he gets a second chance somewhere else in football, but it's not going to be at Manchester United under any circumstance.
I don't put anything past our upper brass. I think they're incompetent. I think we're still ran badly. I think we don't think we're morality.
I agree.
I think these guys are buffoons, and I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow introduce him back to the squad. I have no faith in Mortov and all those guys. I think I still think they're cowards. I still think the Glazers are pushing the buttons and they're just puppets. Because everything that we've done, it doesn't make sense to this day. If we did not have Ten Hag, we would not have this team that we have right now.
You're right.
He did all the recruiting. He's done it all.
Mason Greenwood doesn't have a contract saying, if I'm arrested or not, I have to play for Man United or travel. No one has a contract saying they've got to play. If you're dropped, you're dropped. It doesn't make it. It's not in your contract. You've got to play. You've got to travel. Otherwise, Harry Maguire would never leave.
Yeah, if they want to drop him, they could drop him.
Exactly. Anyway.
I think he's still banned from Carrington and Old Trafford, and he's not going to be in the director's box on match day. I think United is trying to quietly get rid of that situation as quietly as possible, but nothing happens quietly at Manchester United. So, Bandito, your last thoughts on that guy, Greenwood?
Yeah, the club needs to have a moral compass, and I think the fans have a moral compass, and I don't think any fan wants to see him in a with that badge on his chest.
Absolutely.